Welcome back to LDB Games. I'm Lord Darth Balls, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I farm with 100% success rate hard floor 120. You can see here a set of 5 multi-battles, all complete. I used the free re-gear event that they have going on right now a couple days ago, right when it started, to re-gear one champion specifically and to tweak a couple champions. So I'm not going to go in depth over the boss mechanics. I did that already in a video about a week and a half ago. I'm going to pin to that up top so you guys can check it out. And I also put out a video regarding the team that I used to farm hard floor 80. Now, that team was good enough to beat hard floor 120, but it was not good enough to have a 100% success rate. And in this Doom Tower rotation, I want to be farming Dark Fae, and you should too, right? Because as a reminder, the materials that you get from Dark Fae are used to craft in the Forge the best set for damage dealers. It is a 25% ignore enemy defense, so it's a Savage set with a 10% crit rate bonus on top. And I still don't have a solid set for one champion. So I am farming Dark Fae. So in order to get my team, and it was the same, now mind you, it's the same champions, right? I used the same 5 champions: Hegemon, Lady Kimmy, Allure, Geomancer, and Coldheart. Now, in order for me to get this to 100% success rate, I needed 3 things. One, I needed to make sure that the Hegemon took out the copy of my team on the first hit, or came close enough for Allure's A1 random hit to finish the job. 2, I needed all of my turn meter reduction champions to be in and around 250. Ideally, I want them faster than 250, right? Astranix's speed in this floor is 250, and ideally, I want to be going ahead of her. I want to be faster than her. It was very difficult for me to get all of them over 250, so I got very close. They're all within a specific range of 250. And then I needed enough accuracy to land all of the debuffs and the decreased turn meter. And Astranix's resistance is about 300. So the sweet spot for accuracy is going to be 350 to 400. Now, the champion that I actually took out is my main Coldheart. And I took her out because she is pure damage, right? With just enough accuracy to do the job in level 20 dungeons and whatnot. But you can see she's built for pure damage. Now, the bosses in Doom Tower cap the amount of damage that you can do with enemy max HP skills. So there's a point here where more crit damage is completely useless. So I had a third Coldheart built just for damage, for some fun, and I used this re-gear as a way to rebuild her, more of a support champion. You can see I've got 4 pieces of gear waiting to get maxed out over here to get her some more stats and whatnot. But what I did was I shot for 350 accuracy, and you'll notice I only have 218 speed here. So how am I getting to, or close to, 250 speed, right? Because you may say, well, 218 is definitely not within range of 250, and you're right. So there are 2 things that come into play here. On one hand, I farmed up some of her masteries, just enough to get some useful things. And I've got Whirlwind of Death on here. Now, Whirlwind of Death, for every enemy she kills, she gains 6 speed, up to 18. That's only 3 kills. And she will get 3 kills by the time we get to the boss. So that's 18 speed. And I also use Lady Kimmy's 30% speed in Doom Tower aura. Now, I didn't want to just kind of, I didn't want to figure out the math, because there's some back-end math with their speed calculations that, frankly, I don't think makes sense to me, despite my mathematic capabilities. I'd rather take the guesswork out of it. And what I did is I went to Deadwood Jedi's clan boss calculator. I put in Lady Kimmy in the lead slot here, right? Oops, that's her speed settings. I put in Lady Kimmy in the speed slot here, in the main slot with her 30% aura, and I put her speed in. So that shows me that I've got Lady Kimmy at a true speed of just under 277. She's good. I didn't have to tweak her. Now, Cold Heart, well, that's interesting. It looks like I'm a little too high here. Okay, is that right? Yeah. Now, I put in Cold Heart, and I queued in her speed to get me this true speed after her aura, so this still doesn't even count the 18 speed that I get from the mastery. Now, yeah, 218. Okay, perfect. So that puts her at 246, which means when I get 18 speed, that puts me at 264 faster than 250. Now, my allure was sitting at, if I remember correctly, 213. I'd have to go check the video to double check. Was sitting at 213. And what I did is I tweaked a couple pieces of gear and I glyphed some things that I could to get it up to 227. And now I don't have the mastery on Allure, but if I did, it would help me even more. And that's honestly going to be the next thing I do. However, I've now been running this with all of my silver keys for the past 3 days, and it is 100% success rate, which is pretty sweet. It's kind of funny how I still don't have Allure's masteries done. I'll get there eventually. Now, my Geomancer, you can see here I got him in at 224. He was at, I believe, 203. Or in and around low 200s. And I did the same thing that I did with Allure. I tweaked his gear a little bit, and I glyphed up what I could to get him to 224, which puts him at 253, utilizing Lady Kimmy's aura. Now, outside of Geo, Cold Heart, and Allure, Hegemon, I don't care about speed. He could go as slow as he is, right? He's sitting at 161. All I care about is his damage. The rest of the team does everything else. Now, my Geomancer had enough accuracy. Didn't have to worry about that. My Lady Kimmy needed a slight tweak. So I've now got her up to 410 accuracy with some glyphs and some gear swap. And I think my Allure was good on accuracy. I think I might have actually lost some to get a little bit of speed. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure. So I've got the speeds. Let me get rid of this calculator. I've got the speeds and I've got the accuracy. Now I needed to make sure that my team was killed. And the interesting thing is you'll notice Lady Kimmy doesn't have a ring, right? I took this off when I was working through floor 80 to make sure that she died from Hegemon. And what I noticed was that no matter how many times I ran this on floor 120, Geomancer was always left alive. So I actually did a couple testing. I had to take both the ring and the amulet off Geomancer in order for him to die on that first hit semi-reliably. He still survives sometimes. I don't know how, but he's left with enough HP, or a low enough HP for Allure's random hit on the A1 with a single hit to take him down. Now, even with these changes in speed and accuracy, this still doesn't prevent Astronix from getting a turn. Now, throughout the course of the fight, she'll get 2, sometimes 3 turns. However, I don't die. It's still, I have enough sustain in this composition and enough speed to stay ahead enough to stay alive to take down the boss. So I've got a few more keys left. Let's do this run. I'm going to cut myself out and we'll come back at the end. Looks like luck was on my side. Astronix only got one turn that entire fight, and it didn't even matter because she was almost dead. That's probably some of the best RNG I've gotten in the, I guess I've run, 20 or 30 runs. 10, 5, 10, probably more like 15 or 20, 20 runs, give or take. Best RNG I've ever gotten. Now, I think what happened is one of the masteries that I put on Cold Heart procced. Because I didn't just put the speed one, I also put Cycle of Magic on for the chance of getting her Heartseeker back faster. I have that on her and on Geomancer for his A3, and in the AI, I turn off their A2s. So they're only using their A1s and their A3s, and every turn they have a chance of resetting the cooldown of their really good turn meter reduction ability. Now, if I had them, I would put refresh rings on. But unfortunately, I don't have any refresh rings for dwarves or dark elves, so that didn't work. But getting a refresh ring just improves the chances of getting through the fight with as minimal with Astronix getting as minimal turns as possible. So before we close out the video, I just want to go through the AI real quick because there are a couple important things to make this actually reliable. On one hand, I want both of Lady Kimmy's abilities back by the boss, but Flurry of Petals is a really useful control ability, so I have her opening with that on round 2, and then not using either of those abilities. And her normal AI opens with her A3, so that works for me, so you don't have to do anything on round 3. For Allure, you'll notice I don't even use the A3 on round 1. I'd rather in AoE or turn meter control. I don't use A3 on round 2, same thing. And in round 3, I don't use the A2 either, or the A3. All I want is her A1ing the entire fight. Geomancer, I don't want him using his A3 in round 2. And actually, no, that's fine, I'll leave it. I don't want him using his A3 in round 2, and I don't want him using his A2 in round 3. And Cold Heart is basically the same. I don't want her using any of her abilities. The A2 has a decent amount of damage on it, so I let her use that once and then not use it again because I also want this to be back by the boss so that if the Cycle of Magic procs, it resets Heartseeker and won't like reset one cooldown of Art of Pain. I could do the same thing on Geo, but that A2, actually, you know what, I will do that. So that it just improves the chances of him resetting Quicksand Grasp on the boss. And then for Cold Heart on the boss, I just don't want her to use her A2. Again, so Cycle of Magic has a chance of resetting Heartseeker and Heartseeker alone. Hegemon, the only thing I care about is him not using his A2 in round 2 because he needs to open with it in round 3 in order for me to wipe the copies of my team. So there it is, guys, the team I used to farm with 100% success rate, hard floor 120 in the Doom Tower. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I appreciate the view. Don't forget to hit the like button and go down and subscribe while you're on your way to joining my Discord. I'm Lord Darth Balls. I'll catch you on the next video. Enjoy your raid.